Okay.
Namo loe sarvatrika varti ariyantanam. Om namo loe sarvatrika varti siddhanam. Om namo loe sarvatrika varti ayaryanam. Om namo loe sarvatrika varti uvachayanam. Om namo loe sarvatrika varti savanam. Omkaram bindu sanyuktam nityam dhayanti yoginam kamadam mokshadam chaiva omkaraya namo namo. नमः समयसाराय स्वानुभूत्या चकासते चित्सभावाय भावाय सर्वभावान्तरच्छिदे अज्ञानतिमिरन्दानां ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः तीर्थङ्करो जगत्तनाजयवन्तवर्तो ओङ्कारनादचिन्नो जयवन्तवर्तो जिनना समो शरण सौ जयवंत वर्तो ने तीर्थ चार जगमा जयवंत वर्तो नमो ए तीर्थ नायक ने नमो ओंकार नादने ओंकार संगरो तेणे नमो ते श्री कुंद कुंदने अहो उपकार जिनवरनो कुंदनो ध्वनि दिव्यनो जीन कुंद ध्वनियाप्या अहो ते गुरु काननो अहो भगवती मातनो ध्रुव अचलने अनुपम गति पामेल सर्वे शीतने वंदे कहूँ सुत केवली भाषी आसमय प्रभृत हरे एक शुद्ध सदा आरोपी ज्ञान दर्शनमय खरे कई अन्य ते मारू जरी परमाणु मात्र नथी अरे जम नेत्र तेम ज्ञान नथी कारक नथी वेदक अरे जाने जकर मोदय निरजरा बंध तेम ज मोक्ष ने ओम नमः सिद्धेभ्यो ओम नमः सिद्धेभ्यो ओम श्री सुदात्माने नमः जय जिनेन्द्र Today is October 10th 2018 Wednesday and we are continuing our class on Samaysar. On the Samaysar we have finished up to Kalash number 8. Kalash number 7 and 8, they are coming out after the stanza 13. And Samaysar stanza 13 is a very, one of the most important stanza. And for that thing, we took a long time to go through all the things. And now that we are heading further, we are approaching stanza 14 and 15. And prior to that, there are a couple of kalashis are there, and they are very important kalash. As we said, what is kalash? just a temple. A temple beautifies by having the pinnacle at the top. Similarly, Samaysar is a quote-unquote a temple, and the pinnacle on the temple is this Kalash. That means 2000 years back, Acharya Kundakunda Dev wrote down Samaysar. And we had gone through detail about that event, how that thing happened, that Kundakunda Acharya Dev had gone to Mahadev Kshetra, where right now the Simanda Swami Bhagwan is actually there. And so he went to Samosaran of Simanda Swami Bhagwan, came back, and after coming back, he wrote down, first one was Pravachansar, then he wrote down Samaysar, Niyamsar, Panchastika, Astapahud, like that, different granths, different scriptures. So out of it, Samaysar becomes extremely important because that's it is called Drastino Vishay. Drastino Vishay means it is the object for the faith. My faith, where should I put my faith? For example, and we have said this thing so many times, on a street I would like to rob a house. I would like to get money out of that house. So first, I analyze that house in greater detail, exactly how is the layout of the house, where is a bedroom, where is a garage, where is dining hall, where is a bathroom, etc., etc. All the things about the house I know about it, and also I find out where is the hidden jewels sitting in the house. So now, knowing completely everything about the house, that is equivalent to Pravachan Sar. Pravachan Sar says completely everything about the soul. What's a soul made up of? What's the structure of soul? What's the function of soul? What does soul do? And all kind of things that Pravachan Sar talks about. Now that I know that house in great detail, then my ultimate aim is the place where the hidden jewels are sitting. So now I make everything secondary about the house. I make the secondary about the bedroom and dining room and bathroom and family room and living room, etc., etc., etc. And now I put my attention mainly to the place where there is underground vault, where there is hidden jewels are sitting. Similarly, Samaysar is a one. It's a faith-oriented. It's an object of the faith. Means exactly knowing completely about the soul, the soul as a substance, infinite attribute, then modes of origination, modes of cessation, modes of constancy, and all kind of detailed knowing. Now I put my attention to the eternal soul substance, where my important thing is lying, in the sense I want to get the Samyak Darshan, I would like to have right faith, then I should aim for this place. Similarly, Samaysar is that kind of a scripture that we are right now discussing. So here the Kalash number 9 that we are starting now. Actually, if you just look at it, I mean, we may say, okay, all right, Amrit Chandra Acharya wrote down this Kalash. Again, as we said, that Kunkun Acharya, they wrote down 415 stanza of Samaysar. And 2000 years back, 1000 years back, Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev, he wrote the critiques on this Samaysar, and while he is writing the critiques in Sanskrit language, he also realized that he would like to add something more to make it a little bit easier for the listener or reader to understand. So he inserted Kalash different places in the Samaysar whole 415 stanza. So right now, the total 278 Kalash are there, out of which we are on the 9th Kalash there. It's been said that Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev had so much intellect that he wrote down these critiques on Samaysar as if he has entered into the heart of the Kunkun Acharya Dev, even though they both have 1000 years of a difference existence wise. So that is the importance of Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev and this Kalashis. And so now this Kalash, when we look at it, it appears to be okay. I mean, something he's saying. But then when Gurudev is now looking at it, Gurudev Sikhanji Swami is looking at it, then he takes out an absolute amount of essence from this Kalash, and then he puts in front of us, and it just widens our horizon so much. It is just beyond any imagination. So here we are. Let me bring the slides, then we start talking about it. Okay, slideshow, current slide. Okay, so Samaysar Kalash number 9, we are starting, and here we go. It's in a Malini chant, and I'm going to read that one. So let's see. Udayati naya srirastameti pramanam kachidapi chana vigno yati nikshepa chakram kima paramabhidamyo dhamni sarvagnam prashesmi nannubhavamupayate bhatina dvaipamev. This is in Sanskrit, and this is the meaning of this stanza. I will read. It's in Gujarati. It's okay. I mean, we will just go through meaning. Acharya Dev, Acharya શુદ્ધનો અનુભવ કરીને કહે છે કે so far up to 13 stanza, now it has been said that with using pure point of view, one has experienced a soul substance. So what happens at the time? આ સર્વ ભેદોને ગૌણ કરનાર જે શુદ્ધનો વિષયભૂત ચૈતન્ય ચમત્કાર તેજ પુંજ આત્મા તેનો અનુભવ થતા. Means that when I'm looking at the eternal soul substance with my pure point of view, then at the time of experiencing, everything else becomes secondary. Just like in the 13th stanza, it said that the divisions of the 9 reals are also become secondary in nature. Same then over here it says, નયોની લક્ષ્મી ઉદય પામતી નથી, પ્રમાણ અસ્ત પ્રાપ્ત થાય છે, અને નિક્ષેપોનો સમૂહ ક્યાં જતો રહે છે અમે જાણતા નથી. આથી અધિક શું કહીએ? Means it says that when I'm experiencing my eternal soul substance, when I'm in the experiencing phase, at that time the comprehensive knowledge portion, the one that we saw in the previous slok, comprehensive knowledge, then partial point of view, and knowledge about the objects, all those things, praman, nai, and nikshep, all those things, they disappear. Of course, they are the one whose help I have taken to come up to this level of experiencing phase, but they just simply disappear. દ્વૈત જ પ્રતિભાસિત થતું નથી. અને this is a very, very, very important word he is using. Dvait means duality is not been perceived at all. And so this is simply the 8th Kalash that we saw, and in which it says about praman, nai, nikshep, and we went through details about it. So here it says, with experiencing, those things that disappear, I never know where they went out. And also, Dvait means duality is not experiencing at all. And we'll come, this is a very important word that he is putting, and we will come to that one as we are progressing. So if we just look at it, this Kalash says, okay, all right, what a big deal, right? I mean, okay, understand. But then there is a bhavarth, which I'm not going to read all the things about it, but it's there. Basically, whatever we read in the previous slide, it's expansion of it. Now Gurudev starts explaining. Gurudev Kanji Swami starts explaining the meaning of this very important Kalash. Well, each time I say it's very important stanza, each very important Kalash, there is nothing having less important in Samaysar. Everything is spoken by Acharya Bhagwan, by Acharya Kundukun Acharya Dev. Kundukun Acharya Dev experienced his soul, plus he also had a question, so he went to Mahadev Kshetra and discussed with her Simanda Swami Bhagwan, and also he talked to other monks also. And after coming from there, and whatever he learned in the lineage of his monkhood from his guru, etc., plus his experience, and then he wrote down all these things. So that's why it is extremely, extremely important, and it's a cream. It's a real cream, and that's what we are fortunate to have in front of us. So what? Let's see what it says. When one ends up with experiencing the eternal true nature of the self, then he ends up experiencing what? All knower soul substance having eternal infinite attributes within. When I bring my attention to my eternal soul substance, remember this thing from the very first stanza, we keep on talking, experiencing and faith. Faith is most important. Faith, my faith, it could be either 100% to the alien objects of the universe, means universe na vishwana par padarth pratyay mari shraddha hoy, or the faith is directed to me internally, to my eternal soul substance. There is nothing in between, either or. If it is in the to the alien objects of the universe or to my eternal soul substance, there is nothing in between. So since time infinite in the past, my faith is directed to the alien objects of the universe. What are the alien objects of the universe? Par padarth kaya kaya je? Well, I just believe this body is mine, body is mine, body is mine. That kind of faith that I have it, that kind of vision I have it, that is called alien objects. This is called matter substance, and I just say, this is mine. What do I say? If I have a belly ache, what do I say? My belly is hurting, my head is hurting, my legs are hurting. My mindness means I have put ownership on this physical body, not only today, not only this life, but previous infinite lives. Even when I was in Nigod, I was breathing, I was getting birth 1 second for death and life. In 1 second, I was taking birth and dying. And at that time also, I used to say, this is my body is mine, body is mine, body is mine. So this kind of thing, I'm doing it since time infinite. So now I brought my faith, instead of a physical body, I brought it to my all-knower soul substance. This all-knower soul substance has eternal, infinite attributes within. I have infinite attributes within. Whatever attributes Aryan Bhagwan has it. Whatever attribute Siddha Bhagwan has it. I have a same amount of attribute, and that's infinite attributes. And here I am going out just like a beggar, saying that I would like to have something. I would like to have my stock go up. I would like to have my cancer go away. I would like to have my kids behave my way. What are all these things, nonsense thing you are doing? That's what Acharya Bhagwan is telling us. There's a story, there's a very effective story been said in Jainism, that there is one family, one person was there. He was fairly wealthy. He has only one child. He was about 8-10-year-old child, and now suddenly he is diagnosed to have some terminal illness, and he's going to die. So he realized that my son is a very young boy, and if he gets all this money right away, then he's going to throw it out. And when he becomes youth and in a later part of the life, he may not have anything. So he called one of his friends and says, listen, I'm putting all this money in a fixed deposit in a bank, and when the child becomes 20 years of age or 25 years of age, then he will have access. So don't tell anything to anybody. So this person dies, and his child now has no means of earning and everything. He finishes school somehow, and then he starts driving the rickshaw. He's driving rickshaw in the town and everything, and he is getting some money, and he gets, he gets a food and everything. So he lives in a poverty. He's about 20, 25, maybe 25-year of age. And now on the radio, they announce that such and such person should come and collect the money. And he says, wow, look at this. It's the same name. They're talking like me. That person must be lucky that he's supposed to get $1 million right now. Well, then in a newspaper, the ad started coming with his name, and on TV, the announcement started coming that such and such person should come collect money. He says, what is happening? Everywhere is my name, but somebody with the my name should be lucky person. So he just doesn't worry about it, doesn't care about it. And then that uncle of his, who was still alive, and he says, hey, young man, this is you. They're talking about you. So now he goes to the bank, and bank says, yes, sir, there's $1 million on your name, and now you are a millionaire. And we will do some paperwork. Within 2-3 days, you'll get the money in your account. Now he comes out of the bank. He still has no money. He still came in the rickshaw over here to the bank and everything. As soon as he came out, somebody said, hey, rickshaw, come on, take me to the railway station. He said, forget it, I don't have time, I'm a millionaire. He still has no money in his pocket right now, but he has conviction that now I have $1 million in my account coming. Similarly, this soul, when he experiences when the scriptures are telling, guru are telling, and when I watch video, religious video, everything, they all say, I'm a millionaire, I have money within, I'm full of infinite attributes within. One day I experience myself. And when I experience within, and I say, oh, wow, am I having all this kind of a property within? And I become extremely happy. And I just say, I'm the Siddha Bhagwan. Well, I'm still a regular person. I'm still a living being, except that I had experiencing of the soul, but I'm the Siddha Bhagwan. That kind of conviction is there right now. So when I find it that I have infinite bliss, infinite attribute living within me, I experience that, and I have conviction that I am the pure nature of the soul, and I am the Bhagwan. It's not like Bhagwan from the other philosophies to whom we give submission to them and everything. Here in this Bhagwan, I am the Bhagwan. I am the omniscient Lord. That's why Guru Dev Sri kept on saying that Tu Paramatma che em nakki kar. You decide first that you are the omniscient Lord. प्रभु पहला आप भगवान से एम तो नक्की करवा दो. Forget about it. You have to understand that you are the omniscient Lord within. That kind of conviction I have to have it. So now I get that conviction. Then there is no rise of, and now when that thing occurs, conviction occurs, the Samyak Darshan occurs, then there is no rise of any comprehensive knowledge and partial point of view or reflective thoughts. So when I'm experiencing all these reflective thoughts from before, they are now subsided. They are just become less important to me, because now I'm experiencing myself over here. I'm experiencing my eternal soul, and now I have experienced me as a Bhagwan. So everything else become way secondary. And this is essence in this Kalash. That's all basically it is. But now it's our Gurudev that he finds out, and he finds out the real things hidden behind these facts. And so he tells us what it is. So now he starts telling us. Okay, so now he says that to us that first one ends up knowing the real nature of the soul with comprehensive knowledge in his reflective thoughts. See, how is the process? What's the process of realizing soul? So first I have reflective thoughts, means vikalp. Vikalp means my thought process. I am thinking about it. I'm reading this book, Jain Siddhant Prashnottar Mala, for example. Then when I'm reading the questions and everything, I understand in my thinking. I understand this thing in my psyche, and I understand what it is about. What's the story about? So this is kind of indirect knowledge. For example, let's say
Mute is either you can hear or you can't.
Okay, it's mute.
yeah, I mean, can you?
What are you muting it for? So
I'll mute it so that way that you
Yeah.
don't have a noise coming from your end. Okay, all right, I can do it. So for example, I want to go to some remote place, that I have never visited. Let's say Antarctica. Rekha, can you mute yourself, Rekha, please? So let's say I want to go to Antarctica. I have never gone there. So I read the book, I see the video, I talk to the people who have gone there, but all those things are indirect way because I have not experiencing those things. I know exactly all the thing. How much is the temperature? What is the how the snow level, and what happens at night? What happens at day? All those things I know it, but still, again, it's an indirect knowledge without experiencing. Now that I have collected all the knowledge, and then I go there, and then I experience myself to be there, then I realize that becomes a true knowledge. Similarly, over here in reflective thoughts, I gather everything about soul. What is the nature of soul? What's the makeup of soul? What's the structure of soul? What's the function of soul? Because the enlightened souls ahead of me, my guru, my enlightened monks, my teachers, they taught me all those things. So I know everything in the reflective thought process indirectly about the nature of the soul. Then he ends up experiencing that eternal soul substance. First, your reflective thoughts. And from now, reflective thought means a vikalp dasha. Now you go to experiencing, means nirvikalp dasha. Means beyond the thought process. You go inside and experience yourself. So that's experiencing. Now what happens? At this time, when I'm experiencing the eternal soul substance, then these reflective thoughts of the comprehensive knowledge, etc., they subside. That means they disappear. The disappearment, it doesn't go away, but they become so way secondary. For example, let's say I'm full of misery right now, and I have so much misery that I can't bear this pain and suffering, and all this thought process of making me go crazy right now. Those are my reflective thought process. But now, that is one line I have drawn on the blackboard of the length of my unhappiness, my misery. Now, without touching that, I draw another big line over here of what is me, what's my nature of the soul, my experiencing of the soul substance. That line is so big that this line automatically becomes secondary in nature. Even though it's there, suffering is there, but now my aim is my eternal soul substance, and these lines are becoming way secondary for me. So the comprehensive knowledge disappears, means they become so minuscule in nature that now its importance is no more there. That reminds me one small little story that when I was in India, and my parents had taken some life insurance policy on my name, and that was about 150,000 rupees or something. So when I came to this country, then I told my parents that, listen, that policy, don't pay any money and everything, because it's a hard-earned money that you have it, and don't spend that one, because 50,000 rupees it's not important. I can make that one in a week or so over here in this country. So when my daddy went to that insurance agent, says, we would like to close this policy, and the guy said, are you nuts? Nobody closes this policy. It's important. Because now I have bigger things in front of me. I can make same amount of money within 1 week. So why should I have that little insurance policy of 50,000 rupees or something like that? Similarly over here, when I in experiencing the soul substance, then the comprehensive knowledge, etc. types of reflective thoughts become so minuscule that as if they disappear. Partial point of view means that a naive thought, they do not arise. And knowledge regarding the object means niksep, runs away and no one knows what about its whereabouts. Means comprehensive knowledge, partial point of view, and nikshep, they become very, very non-existent, even though they are present, but their importance becomes very minimal. I have a common cold right now, for example, and I'm thinking, my God, the world is coming to an end because I have to speak right now, and I'm sneezing and I'm coughing and headache and this and that and all kind of things. Now, let's say that I went to the doctor and they just say, it's not common cold, but you are suffering with a terminal cancer. What happened to that common cold now? That is present, but it becomes so minuscule right now. What do I do for this terminal cancer? Please tell me. Am I going to live or am I going to? So now that common cold 2 hours before was driving you nuts, and it was center of your life, and now suddenly it became minuscule because now you have terminal cancer to worry about. So that's what it says over here. Now, so Acharya Bhagavan says over here that this is the glory of right faith with experiencing of the self. So how to make something minuscule without touching it, just to make something bigger in front of it. And that means right faith, means the samyak darshan, means experiencing of the soul. And this is the glory. That glory is such a great thing. Everything else in front of us becomes minuscule. All the reflective thoughts disappear, means they are present, but their importance becomes so minuscule, and I don't pay attention to that one at all now. They are there, but the importance becomes less. Having said that, now, what is it? Comprehensive knowledge and partial point of view are reflective thought process. Now, Acharya Bhagavan takes one step back to us and says, okay, you had comprehensive knowledge, right? You had a praman gnan, right? You had a nai gnan, right? Yeah, but they were in the reflective thought process. They were vikalpatmak dasha. Praman and nai a vikalpatmak dasha bhati. That's what he tells us right now. Then he says, nikshep, knowledge of the object. Itlesu, knowledge of the object means what? When I am right now collecting all the information, when I'm collecting all the information, for what? For experiencing myself. Right now, in this class, our important thing is eternal soul substance, and that is the center of our attention. So that is our knowledge of the object. What is the object? My eternal soul substance is an object. And me, in my mode, makes this object as primary. So, what a contrasting sentences are coming out. I, in my present mode, makes eternal soul substance as an object of my knowing. મારી જ્ઞાનની પર્યાયમાં હાલમાં ત્રિકાળી શુદ્ધ આત્મદ્રવ્ય મારા જ્ઞાનનો વિષય થાય છે. So that is called nikshep. Comprehensive knowledge is total knowledge about the soul. Partial point of view is a modal point of view or substantial point of view. And nikshep means knowing knowledge about the eternal soul substance. So that is called when I'm putting an object of my knowledge as eternal soul substance, and now I'm experiencing that eternal soul substance. That is called bhav nikshep. The word is bhav nikshep, means experiencing mode of eternal soul substance. I'm experiencing myself. My experiencing activity is about my eternal soul substance, and that's called bhav nikshep. Means experience is going on right now. Means everything else outside thing becomes way secondary for me. Even the bhav, at the time, Acharya Bhagwan says, even this bhav nikshep mode. Now, be careful, because now little serious thing is coming. My experiencing is going on in my mode, in the knowledge mode, in my faith mode, in my conduct mode. This mode is making experiencing of the soul, and that mode is called bhav nikshep. Means real experience going on right now. I'm in a meditative state, and in that meditative state, I just look at the eternal soul substance, and I get experiencing, and I get a bliss, as a bliss, internal bliss, super sensuous bliss experiencing right now. Think about it. When you have something that you like it, some kind of food that you really enjoy it, and now finally you got that food and you are eating it, what is happening? You are so engrossed in experiencing that food's taste that you forget, for that particular moment, you forget everything else. Similarly here, now this bhav nikshep mode, bhav nikshep mode is a one which is experiencing eternal soul substance, but even this mode also becomes secondary at that point. Here I am, my eternal soul substance, and my attention is drawn to that, but my attention mode is also becoming secondary, because now the object becomes primary for me. That knowing action becomes secondary, and my experiencing of the soul substance becomes primary in nature. Now, actually, now the Gurudev Sri explains, actually experience occurs in the bhav nikshep mode, but considering primary importance of eternal soul experiencing perspective, this mode becomes secondary. I am experiencing, but that mode itself is secondary, because what am I experiencing? That takes over whole thing. So that's what is trying to tell over here. The aim is only eternal soul substance and nothing else. And when I am experiencing my eternal soul substance is one, and I'm experiencing a second. So these two things are going on. I'm experiencing eternal soul substance. So actually duality is there, but it says this experiencing mode also becomes so secondary that only non-duality form of eternal soul substance experience is persisting. So that's called duality and non-duality. Dvait and Advait. If you have gone through if you have heard this Vedant philosophy, there are two main parts are there: Dvait philosophy and Advait philosophy. According to Vedant, I am the soul, mundane soul, and here is Paramatma, the eternal, omnipotent soul substance. So I am at his feet, divine feet, and I just do bhakti, worshipping to this divine soul. So there's a duality. So the duality means Dvait philosophy believes in submission to the higher authority as a God. He doesn't want to become God. He says, I am at your feet. That's it. So it's a duality or Dvait philosophy. Advait philosophy says, you know what? Even your existence becomes so secondary and you are the God. That kind of thing, when it becomes non-duality, that's called Advait. Now, same point is coming here. And Gurudev is going to explain to that one and says, I am non-duality state because my experiencing mode and my eternal soul substance are in duality form from outside, but this mode has submitted so much to this eternal soul substance that everything is one only. So everything's non-duality state. That is experiencing of the soul. And when that thing happens, everything else in this universe becomes way, 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 way secondary, and importance is not there. That's what Gurudev is trying to take us to that point. Now, so monism or non-duality or Advait means one thing only, one thing, eternal soul substance is me only. When I think about it, what happens in a Hindu philosophy,
Kirit,
yeah.
Is any of this is like Dvait and Advait in Amruchandacharya's Tika?
Yes.
In Kalash?
Yeah. See, if you just see this word over here in this Tika, here, Dvait pratibhastu જ નથી. See, this Dvait pratibhastu જ નથી. And that's what Gurudev is trying to hit that word. Because Dvait pratibhastu નથી means now it becomes Advait. And when Advait word comes, then here in the Tika it says, where is that one? વિજ્ઞાન દ્વૈતવાદી તથા વેદાંતિ કહે છે કે છેવટે પરમાર્થ રૂપ તો અદ્વૈતમાં જ અનુભવ થયો, એ જ અમારો મત છે. તમે વિશે શું કહ્યું? Means Vedanti says that listen, you are talking non-duality state, and that's what we talk about. So what a big deal. What did you say anything different than us? We are talking. And Gurudev says there is real difference between what they believe and what we are talking about, non-duality state. So that word is there. Yes, in Amrit Chandra Tika is that word is there, you know. So now monism or non-duality.
So I missed something. So what is that real difference between the Advait that Vedantins talk about and the Advait here in Jain philosophy?
Yes, and that's what is a crux of this whole slok number 9, Advait and Dvait basically. And as we are proceeding further to come to that point, and it just Gurudev explains in absolute beautiful way, and he opens up new chapters for us, and it is mind-boggling that how he picks up all these things and come out with the solutions, because he had the experience of his soul, because he had heard all these things from Simanda Swami in Samaysar in the previous life, and that's what he talked to us. That's why we understand all those things. So we are coming to that point. So we'll be coming to that. So we'll be able to understand that part. Okay. So hang on. That's a whole thing that you are talking about Kalash 9 right now. That what is Dvait and Advait? That's what it's about. So monism or non-duality state or Advait according to Vedanta means, Vedanta believes in absolute monism, non-duality, Advaita. Means what they believe, that there's an omnipotent soul just spread through whole universe. Just like the fire is going on, his talk is on fire, and when the fire is going on, big huge fire is there, and teeny tiny sparks are coming out. So that's what they say, that the whole fire or whole universe is the eternal soul, one soul substance, Brahma. Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya, that's a sentence will be used by them. Brahma Satya means only eternal soul substance in one form in the whole universe is the true, and everything else is illusion. So they believe in this non-duality, means only one soul, which is a pure soul in the universe, and that's it. And we are part of the teeny tiny sparks coming up with fire. We are part of that one. Everything else is illusion. Is this a phone? That's your illusion. Is this a book? That's your illusion. Is this a shirt? That's illusion. Everything that you see is not there. Jain says, wait a second. How can you say it's not there when I'm perceiving them? I'm perceiving, I'm touching all the things, I'm talking and all. How can it not? So they believe that it's illusion, number one. Let's go one point at a time. So they believe in absolute monism. Then there is only one universal soul, and rest are illusions. Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. Now, Jains also believe in non-duality form of reality. How do Jains believe that way? Next slide is coming to answer that one. But Jains believe not in absolute sense. Jains believe from certain perspective only. Yeah, soul is in non-duality state from certain perspective only. While in a Vedanta, they believe from absolute perspective, that's it, soul is omnipotent in the whole universe, nothing talking about. That absolute form, that's it. Jain says, no, we talk about non-duality and duality state in certain perspective. Means Nai Vivaksha will come over here. Partial point of view state will come over here. How does that come? That is a next slide talking to us. Let's see what it says. Non-duality according to Jains, and Chirag, that's your question's answer coming right now. Non-duality state according to Jains, how does it occur? One knows the reality from reading the scripture, etc. by Dravya Shrut, means I listen all these things, I read this one, I listen to the lectures of my enlightened monks and everything, my true teacher, discussing with them, and I created some kind of understanding about nature of the soul. Okay, that's a very first step for me to obtain non-duality state. First, understand, read, look, ask question, solve your doubts and all those things. Vachna, Pushna, Paravartna, Anupreksha, Dharma Prabhavana, means there are 5 points of Swadhay that they are talking about. Means first one is a reading. Reading, when I'm reading, then I have questions, so I ask questions, that's called Pruchna. Vachna, Pruchna. Then Paravartna means now I understand somewhat. Then Anupreksha means I keep on reciting that fact within me. I am the eternal soul. I am the eternal soul. This is my pure nature, and everything else is not me. Remember the first Balpothi, the very first lesson that a young kid is shown, in which he is been said from the very first day onwards, I am the God, I am the soul, I am Bhagwan, I am conscious element. And body is non-conscious, body is non-living, body is matter. These are the very first things that Kirit has been shown in these Jain principles. I am the Chetan, I am the conscious element, I am the king, I am the Lord. This physical body is non-living, it's submitting to me, I have no relationship with that, and that kind of thing that's been taught from the very, so that's called Dravya Srut. So now with this Dravya Srut, my reading the scripture, etc., I made the decision, I made the determination of the genuine determination of the nature of a substance. By reading all these things, I came to conclusion, this is my real nature. This is me as an eternal soul substance is residing within. So that's means Yatharth Tattva Nirnay. First thing, Dravya Srut, then Yatharth Tattva Nirnay, means making genuine determination of the nature of the substance. Now, these things are occurring in the reflective thought process. And now I keep on working on this one. I contemplate on it. I contemplating again and again and again and again and again, that it becomes my second nature. First thing in the morning, I wake up and look in the mirror and say, listen, my name is Kirit and don't forget about it. Do I do that? I'm not doing it. Why? Because I have a conviction now. Since childhood, I was been bombarded that I'm Kirit, I'm Kirit, I'm Kirit, I'm Kirit, I'm Kirit. That has become second nature for me. So even in the deep sleep, somebody screams about my name, I will wake up because they are talking about me. Every activity I'm doing, in the back of my mind, that conviction keeps on going. I am Kirit, I am Kirit. Same thing is happening here. First, I found out that what is the real nature of the soul. Then I make genuine determination of the nature of the soul. And these things are occurring in the reflective thought process. And that becomes my second nature now. Gurudev used to say that, but Atmani vata avta tara ruwada ubha thai java જોઈએ. Means when somebody talking about soul, you should have a goosebump all over because they are talking about you. So that kind of conviction, deep conviction now occurs within me. Now, because of that thing, now even the reflective thoughts are quieting down, quieting down, quieting down. And one fine moment, I go into primary abstract comprehension, which is called nirvikalpta, means anubhuti, means samyak darshan, means soul's experiencing, and that is the one that soul's realization. That's what my primary aim to right now has to be there. So it has to start from the first bullet, then to make it genuine determination. This is a conviction occurs, and that conviction ultimately leads me to the experiencing of the souls. So this is the process by which I'm experiencing soul substance. Now that I have done that one, this experiencing soul thing, the soul substance is occurring in mode. This mode is doing the work of experiencing. Paryayma atmani anubhati vedaishe. Soul is a substance, soul is an attribute, they are inert, they don't do anything, only work is getting done in the mode, and so I'm experiencing my eternal soul substance out of these 4 steps that I went on the top. Now I'm experiencing, okay? Now when I'm experiencing, the mode and substance become indivisible entity. Now I am experiencing soul substance. I am experiencing soul substance. But at that time, this mode also says, you know what? I'm doing job, but I'm so happy experiencing soul substance. Bliss is so powerful that I forget that I'm a mode. I forget that I'm a mode. And even the mode is present, it becomes secondary. So my experiencing the soul becomes primary event. And when that primary event occurs and there is individuality occurs, indivisibility is perceived, and a non-duality is perceived, and that is called Advait according to Jainism. So Jainism says my mode is there. My mode, I just made it secondary, and this guy is primary. Experiencing is primary, and that's why we just say that this is the non-duality state here. So the existence is there, modal existence is there. It's not been thrown out. It's just been made secondary in nature. Let's say that I took money from Ankit, and I borrowed $1 million from Ankit, and he was nice enough to give me. Now, after a while, he says, Kirit, it's about time now. It's my money. I need to have it. Okay. So now I'm giving it money to him. And I gave him $999,099 only. Will he take it or not? Will he say in his book that, okay, everything's taken care of now? Why? Even that $1 becomes secondary, even though I have not paid that dollar to him. But considering 900,099, whatever number, it becomes so big that $1 has no value. Yes, to the purist, I did not pay complete debt, but to him, from the faith perspective, he got his money back. Similarly, here, mode is there. It's not denied, but it is so secondary right now in front of this experience that secondary mode's existence is being said, you are not there at all. Don't worry about it. And that is called Advait. In a Vedant, they just say, this is the all omnipotent soul substance, and that is all over the universe, and nothing is there. No mode is there. No, all these objects that we see, matter objects and everything, they are illusion. They are not there at all. That is their Advait philosophy. That's the definition of Advait. And here, Jainism says Advait. And so Advait means everything is present. For example, the house is there, car is there, universe is there, but when I'm experiencing, they all become secondary in nature. And that's why, that's a total difference between those two philosophies. And this is in Kalash 9, the Acharya Bhagwan explains to us about Dvait and Advait. So when Vedanti says, so what a big deal, you also serve the Advait, and we are talking Advait, but there's a vast difference between them. When I'm not experiencing soul, the whole universe is present. Whole universe, all the six substances in the universe are existing. But when I am experiencing myself, then even my division of the attributes within, number one, my modal state, number two, they become secondary, way secondary, and the world at large, universe at large, it becomes totally absolute secondary, that I don't pay attention to them at all during my experiencing phase. So no denial of the universe, no denial of six universal substances, but I am me. When we learn that 7th stanza in Samaysar, it says, when I'm experiencing, it's not 7, 8, 9th and 10th stanza, that when you experience a soul, that means you have seen all the 12 big canons, Dwadashang, 12 canons, that all the scripture that you realize. Simply by experiencing, yes, because essence of all the 12 major canons, 12 major scriptures, which has billions and billions of sloks, etc. The take-home point is how to experience a soul substance, which I did right now. That means I have no knowledge of nothing. I could be that lion in the jungle who even doesn't know that 6 universal substances are there and 9 elements are there. He realizes soul substance and everything else that he understood about the whole universe. So this is the major difference between those two. Words are limited and experiences are so unlimited. So sometimes words are coming out and one will say, you talk the same thing that what we talk about. So what a big difference. There is a big difference that we should have to have understanding. And these are the beginning sloks, and this Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev throws all these important things to us. And now Gurudev comes out and he takes out amazing amount of facts from these principles, which has not been mentioned in Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev's Tika. But Gurudev, from his own chintan, from his own contemplation, he comes out with a deep churning within, and he comes out with different things, which are amazing amount of things. So let's see what he's coming out with. Now, the Gurudev says, when you are experiencing, when a soul is experiencing the eternal soul substance, then everything becomes secondary, and important thing is an eternal soul substance. So what is that eternal soul substance look like? So now he is throwing the Alingrahana Visbol, which is the Pravachan-sar 172 stanza, or in the 49 stanza of Samaysar, and Niyam-sar, I think 46 stanza, and Astapahud, Panchastika, and all the scriptures, this thing has been mentioned. Because what is the eternal soul substance look like now? So he goes this deep within, churning, and then come out with this kind of important understanding. So those are the things coming out. So that's what we are talking right now. So Alingrahana Visbol. So, the 20 points are there. Some of those things will go very quickly because, if we just talk in great detail about those 20 points of Alingrahan, then it will take 5, 6, 7 classes practically. But important thing are last 3 bowls, and especially 20th bowl is very important. So we will touch upon those things. We'll pass by rest of the things, and if there is interest, we can go in detail about those things too. So we'll see how. So Alingrahana Visbol, what does it mean? Word Alingrahan. Alingrahan, that's a Sanskrit word. What does it mean? Aling. A means not to be. A means not to be. Ling means inferential mark. Inferential mark. Grahan means to know or comprehension. And soul cannot be known through inferential marks. External inferential marks and soul cannot be known through the external inferential marks. And again, Kunkunacharya Dev wrote down this one word, Alingrahan. That's it. In 49 stanza Samaysar, 172 stanza Pravachan-sar, and 46 stanza of Niyam-sar, etc., etc. And Amrit Chandra Acharya went deep inside, and he took it out, this big essence of this 20 points, in which it says soul cannot be known through external inferential mark. What does external inferential mark means? What does external inferential mark means? For example, let's take one quick example. Suppose I saw a naked monk walking. Does he have the soul's experience or not? Well, external mark is he is a naked saint, and all the characteristics of a monk that you would like to see, that is been present in that monk. But does it mean that it's a sign of a soul's experiencing? And Acharya Bhagavan says, not necessarily. What do you mean by not necessarily? Not necessarily means, in the past, us as a human, us as a soul, we have become naked saint many times, infinite times in the past. And naked saint means naked saint. No, I mean, their conduct is extremely, extremely tight, extremely pure. But there is no experiencing of the soul, so that way it is not the real thing. So that's what it tries to tell us. So now we'll go through those 20 points, and Gurudev has said also in this stanza. So that's where we are going to go through it. Some of the things, as I said, that will pass by, and then we'll come to the most important point out of these 20 points. Any questions so far before we start open this new chapter? Okay, all right. Okay, we'll start now, okay? All right, so soul is beyond inferential mark, 20 points, Alingrahana Visbol, Alingrahana Visbol. So we are just going through that one. Number one, all knower soul substance cannot be known through external marks in the form of senses. Therefore, soul is embodiment of supersensuous knowledge, Atindriya Gyan Maiche. And on this side, it's a Gujarati, what exactly it says there. So, now, can I have five senses and mind. So can I know the soul through my senses or not? Can I perceive the soul through my senses or not? And it says over here, that soul cannot be perceived through the external mark in the form of senses. So, soul is Atindriya Jnanmay, means soul is supersensuously known. Soul cannot be known through the five senses. So wait a second, I mean, I have senses, I'm a human being, I have a mind, I have discriminative mind, I understand all these things, I try to read the scripture, everything, I read through my eyes, I listen through my ears, and I recite through my mouth and everything, I use my mind and everything. How come I cannot experience a soul substance? Because soul substance can be experienced from supersensuous way only. Experiencing the soul is beyond the senses. One has to go beyond the senses. You have the reflective thoughts occur with the senses, but you have to go beyond the reflective thought. You have to go to primary abstract comprehensive state. You have to go to the nirvikalp dasha. Then you can experience a soul substance. What's the example? What's the best example for this one? Siddha Bhagwan has no physical senses. Siddha Bhagwan has no physical body. And still, he has complete omniscience knowledge through which he can see and perceive all the six universal substance and the universe in the past, present, and future completely in one samay. That's a capacity of that soul. Well, we just gave example of the Siddha Bhagwan and all the thing, and we try to convince each other. Well, let's talk. We'll take a regular example of our life. What I believe today, that to know a substance, I want to see this substance. So now it has to be present. The phone has to be present for me to know. Okay, number one. If this phone is present but it's a pitch dark over here, then there's no light and I can't see this phone. And third thing, I need to have my eyes to see this phone. So I need to have light, I need to have my eyes, and I would like to have the object. Three things are supposed to be there for me to know a given object. We are talking crude way right now. Now, when I'm at night time, I'm tired and I've gone to sleep. And now at that time, the whole room is dark and also my eyes are closed. So my eyes shut closed completely. So there is darkness in front of me. And in that darkness, now I'm seeing that I'm getting coronation as a prince, becoming king today. and I'm going out on the elephant, and there's a big procession going on. There is a sweet smell of a fragrance going on around. Lots of food is there, which I'm tasting right now. Soft clothes I have wore, and music is going on. I'm listening to the music, and colorful clothes are there, etc., etc. And all these things are there. So I'm touching, I'm feeling the touch of the soft clothes. I'm seeing the different colors over here. I'm smelling different flowering smell, etc. I'm tasting rich food and everything. And I'm listening to the music, and all those things I'm experiencing while there is no object, there is no light, and there is no senses. How did I perceive those things? Because soul is perceiving that one. So soul is a direct perceiver of all these things. So that's the first point. Then second thing is exactly opposite of it. So that soul does not perceive through the senses. And over here it says that the soul cannot be perceived through the senses. First thing is a doer. The soul is a doer. The soul does everything without help of senses. Second one says senses cannot perceive the soul. So that's a second point is exactly opposite as a first one. Third one, it says one can make inference about presence of fire by looking at the smoke. Soul can be inferred with the help of physical senses. So now here it says, as I have seen the smoke, and that's why I infer that there is a fire. Same way, I have my physical senses, and I make the inferences through the senses. And that is also not possible, because that inferential mark, as we said in the last Kalash, it is the indirect knowledge. It's not a direct knowledge. So third one is also out. Fourth one, only inferential knowledge. Can I know the soul or not? They says no, because inferential knowledge, in the sense, somebody, you are sitting there with your inferential knowledge. Can you know about me as a soul or not? And over here, Acharya Bhagavan says, inferential knowledge is indirect knowledge, and that is not the one giving you direct experience of the soul. So somebody else having inferential knowledge cannot know me as a soul, and vice versa. I cannot know by inferential knowledge to real soul also. So these kind of things are been mentioned there. Then next one, it says, the soul cannot be known by inferential mark, but can be known by its inherent nature only. I have reflective knowledge about the soul. I can exactly write an essay on it. I can write thesis on it. I can publish books on it. But if I don't have experience, that is least important thing that I have done. So what it is, the inferential mark in the form of inherent nature, that I want to know, that is by inherent nature only I can see the soul. So that's a 6 point. Seventh one says, seventh one is easy one to go. The soul knowing cannot be dependent on an alien object. Now, this book, because of this book, I experience my soul substance. Because of this phone having lots of lectures of Gurudeva, etc., I experience soul substance. Alien objects has no relationship to me knowing the soul substance. Soul cannot be bought from outside. I cannot go to the market or Amazon. I just can put up an order. Hey, send me some pure, eternal pure soul. It cannot be bought from outside. Then soul cannot be stolen also. Nobody can steal me. And that is the important thing when we learn Das Lakshan Dharma. In the first Dharma is a Kshama Dharma, in which it says that I'm the eternal soul substance and nobody can take it away or kill it or damage it, because soul was never created, will never be destroyed. It remains in the different form, but soul is eternal. Nobody can steal it from me, because I am the soul. Nobody can steal from me. So that's the ninth point. 10th one is soul is with pure consciousness with serenity. So that means Atma Suddha Upyog Swarupi che. Means I have the I am having full of super sensuous bliss and my knowledge attribute within. Soul is unconnected with is material karma playing any role with me or not? It says material karma has a closest relationship with you. Closest relationship with you is there, but material karma are matter in nature and you are an eternal soul substance, and so you have no relationship with the material karma, even though you both are occupying same space unit. But material karma are material karma, they are non-living, and I am the Chetan, I am the conscious element, they both are separate. Second, 12th one, it says a soul does not enjoy sensual pleasure. Sensual pleasure, the five senses in mind, they are matter. My eye is a matter particle. My ears, my nose, my tongue, my skin, they are matter particle, and they can only know about material objects only. And me as a soul is a super sensuous bliss and eternal soul substance, and is a conscious element, and it is not matter, so senses cannot perceive the soul. Soul does not pursue semen and menstruation. Means, how is a person born? Well, is it because the semen and menstruation means ovum and the sperm coming in contact, and that's why the fertilized ovum occurs, and that's why the soul occurs there? No. Soul occurs by itself. Soul comes there when these things has no relationship. Soul has no relationship with the sexual organ also. Then it comes, soul is not extended in the whole universe. This is the 15th point, is that Advait thing. That when they believe that soul is extended through this whole universe, and it's only one soul, omnipotent soul substance, there is nothing else in the universe. And this 15th pole says that soul does not extend in the universe. I am the soul. I have my extension beyond my physical body. There is no presence of me as a soul. Bacteria, one bacteria has one soul. And in Nigod, the souls are there carrying the same body, but the souls are there. So the infinite souls are there in the universe. Not only one, the infinite souls are there. Souls from material as well as from inclination purpose is not man, woman, and hermaphrodite. So soul is not related as a woman, man, or neuter. So soul is beyond that one. Soul has an absence of external signs of monk. Means the monk is passing by. He is a naked saint. He is walking with his eyes fixed on the ground and walking. He has nothing except that more pitch and kamandal. That kamandal, he has it just for his bodily purity, but not for drinking water. And that more pitch, that broom that he has it, just to make sure that no bugs or no microscopic bug can be killed when he is walking. But that is not the sign of a soul. That's a sign. External marks are there, but that marks cannot tell you that there is a realization of a soul inside or not. So until 17 point, it just tells something about it. Of course, Gurudev has said, Gurudev has given about 20-30 hours of lectures on these things. We are passing by. We are passing by. Of course, when we take Pravachan Sa, then we'll go all this thing in really, really great details, all things. But right now, we have to have some idea that when we are talking Advait soul, the soul is substance as an experiencing soul substance. What is that soul substance about? These external marks are not the one by which I can realize the soul or understand the soul. Now, having said that, 18, 19, and 20th point are really, really super microscopic in nature. So let's try to see how many our time is going to be there up, but we will try as much as we can. The 18th point, it says, લિંગ એટલે ગુણ, એવું જે ગ્રહણ એટલે કે અર્થાબોધ પદાર્થ જ્ઞાન જેને નથી તે અલિંગ ગ્રહણ છે. આ રીતે આત્મા ગુણ વિશેષથી નહીં આલિંગી તેવા શુદ્ધ દ્રવ્ય છે એવો અર્થની પ્રાપ્તિ થાય છે. મીન્સ now Acharya Bhagwan comes to the division of the attributes within me. I am the soul substance and I have infinite attributes within me. So can those division of the attributes lead me to the eternal soul substance or not? Eternal soul substance does not have infinite attributes from the divisional perspective. Eternal soul substance in the experiencing phase, infinite attributes are experienced as a unit, as a one indivisible state only. If I am experiencing my eternal, my attribute in divisional aspect, then it's called reflective thought, and that means it's not experiencing phase. Samaysar, stanza 7. Remember when we went through that one? Soul has a knowledge attribute, soul has a perception attribute, soul has a faith attribute, soul has a conduct attribute. If these divisions are made, then also you are not experiencing soul. That's what it tries to tell us over here. The divisional aspect also makes the experience in the soul go further away. So, eternal, indivisible soul substance does not embrace the divisional aspect of the infinite attributes within. The eternal soul substance during experiencing phase, then it is not embracing the divisional aspect. It just has one unit. Eternal soul substance, infinite attributes, and present, past, and future mode. Everything has been experienced as one indivisible state. So, divisional aspect is also not the nature by which I can experience my eternal soul substance. That's the 18th point. 19th point talks about the modes. What it says, eternal soul substance cannot be known through specific mode, paryay vishesh. Means, now remember we said, this is the mode experiencing, and this is the eternal soul substance, but this mode becomes way secondary because this experiencing becomes extremely important and everything becomes indivisible state, one unit, one indivisible state only. So even the modal state also becomes secondary at the time.
Kirit,
Yeah.
so I would assume that this material is more actively discussed in Prajnansar.
I'm sorry?
Right?
Yeah.
I would think that this material is more actively discussed in Prajnansar.
Yes. Yeah, 172 stanza, it's extremely detailed, it's been explained there, yes. So what we are doing, cursory passing by, and we at least this gives us idea that how much depth is there. I mean, we have not scratched even the surface of the whole reality, and we still have to go long way. But it's possible that I can make it. That's what confidence how to make. By saying all these things, then Acharya Bhagwan says, don't get not discouraged. Just put your faith over here from the alien object's faith. You bring it over here. All these things comes in your knowledge right away. So not to get discouraged, but at the same time, not to go in fool's paradise that I know everything about it. Yeah, I mean, it's a big thing to do, is to remove my faith from the alien objects to bring it to myself. Of course, it happens in one samay, but it takes time. I'll have to take a time. Mahavir took 12.5 years of meditation after taking Diksha to get the omniscient knowledge. So I am in the wrong faith to come to right faith. It will take some time, but I have conviction and confidence. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. That kind of attitude, I have to have it. We'll take that quickly. If you don't mind, I'll take a couple of one more minute for the last point. Oh, well, No, I think it will take time. So I won't go through this slide, because the 20th point is very, very important and is pertaining to this Gatha. So we will just take it next week. Okay, any questions so far?
Hi, Uncle.
Yeah.
Balu Uncle has a question for you.
Yeah,
Let me open the video also
please.
here. સાંભળે છે.
I can hear. Go ahead.
આત્માનો પેલા ગુણોનું સોંગ ગાતા હતા એ ક્યાં છે?
કયા આત્માનું ગુણોનું સોંગ?
આત્માના ગુણોનું દિગંબર બધા મારા મિત્રો હતા તે આત્માનું સોંગ ગાતા હતા.
હમણાં જે ચાલુ કરીને
એટલે આ નહીં તો પણ આત્માના ગુણનું સોંગ હતું.
ઓકે.
એ હું ખોળતો તો મને ના મળ્યું.
There are so many things written for the soul. આત્માના ગુણો વિશેનું તો ઘણા songs છે બધા. પણ દરેક એટલે I don't know which one you are talking અને થોડું મને hint આપો તો I'll try to look for it.
મને બહુ ખબર નથી એટલે નહીં તો હું ખોળવા ગયો પણ મળ્યું નહીં મને. પોપ્યુલર હોય તે ગાતા હશે ને એટલું અસુમ કરી લેવાનું.
No problem. I'll try to find and share it out to you through the Preeti's email, okay?
Yeah, okay. That would be nice. Thank you.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry. Very nice, yes.
Okay. Any other questions from anybody during regarding this class?
So, Kiran, so the next step is the end of this Kalash. Is that correct?
Yeah, but that is going to be because that no, it's not, because then after Alingran Visbol, Gurudev also opens Avyaktana Chabol, means imperceptibility of the soul, and then he's talking those 6 points. So that will be the another chapter he opens up, and that is also in a very, very in-depth, great details. Of course, we'll just kind of pass through easily so that we don't get very nitty-gritty microscopic things in that one. So it's over here. It says when experiencing occurs, what happens? Then this Alingrohan's 20 points they subside. Then Avyaktana Chabol, 6 parts of the imperceptibility, that also becomes subside. So different points. Amrut Chandra Acharya has discussed those things. So those are the things coming up. Okay. Anything else? Okay. We'll do the closing then. અહોપકાર જીનવરનો કુંદનો ધ્વનિ દિવ્યનો જીન કુંદ ધ્વનિ આપ્યા અહો તે ગુરુ કામનો જીન કુંદ ધ્વનિ આપ્યા અહો ભગવતી માતનો જાવાણી કે જ્ઞાન સે સૂજે લોકાલોક સોવાણી મસ્તક નમો સદા દેત હું 9 times Namoka mantra. Jai Chandra. Mid-China. Thank you.
Michame Dokam.
ચાલો.
Thank you. Bye.